All are doing well today. I'm going to give you all a few minutes to come in if I have anyone come in today. I am talking about the powers of a wife. And I've spoken about this before about the strength and the power of a woman. It's a subtle power. Most of the time, it's a quiet power. But never doubt that you have power more than you think that you do. Um, it's a power of influence. All right. And the power of influence can be a very powerful and dangerous thing depending on how you use it. In Genesis 2 and 18, it says that it is not good for man to be alone. And with that being said, a woman was created, a helpmate was created for Adam. Now, in Hebrew, that word helpmate is isokenegdo. And I made a video also about this, about the isokenegdo. And it's not a footstool. It's not something that you leave or put in the background and walk all over. It is a side-by-side helpmate, someone of the same stature, mind frame, and equality. All right. And unfortunately, that relationship dynamic between a man and woman and husband and wife has been taken totally out of context, and the woman has become um, more like a second class citizen or property. And I know a whole lot of this has to do with how, religion casts that whole picture, but that's for another day. So in order to be a helpmate, like I said, it's not a slave, but someone who is of equal knowledge and someone that is going to actually help and support you. It is an equal source of strength and support. That's what Ezer Kenegdo means. Now, it is just statistically proven that married men are more successful. Now, you can debate this all you want, but it is a statistical fact that married men are more successful. And that is because of a lot of things. It's because they have that foundation, they have a support system, they have a help mate. So there are going to be things that they won't have to do because they have a wife that they would have to do if they didn't have a wife. Now you can count that up as housework or chores and taking care of children and all of those things. But even in other aspects, as far as business and dealing with financial things or things that just need to be done, he now has even more free time to go out and be successful and bring home, quote unquote, the bacon. I don't eat bacon, but anyway, um, because he has that support system. And your spouse is going to be the most important decision that you make in your life. It will make or break you in every way. It will break you spiritually, financially, emotionally, even your body and health wise. It will break you down in every way that you couldn't even imagine if you marry or connect yourself to the wrong person. Hi Prim. Hi Von Gray. How are you? I pray that you pray that in your next life that you come back as my body lotion. Well, I think that's a compliment. Thank you. Um, but yeah, and also Proverbs 18 and 22, it says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And a lot of people take that to mean that a man goes out and he finds a woman and she becomes a wife. But for me, I have always believed that a woman is a wife way before she ever gets married, because being a wife is a mindset, is a frame of mind. It's how you think about life. It's about your goals, your heart's desires, and things of that nature. And I was raised by my father and my grandmother, so I have a slightly different aspect. My father provided that grounding and that stability and that strength. And my grandmother, she was such a giver. She had 9 children, and she actually raised me and my sister. So I got that from her as well, that caretaker aspect, on top of my own just, personality that I was born with. So I had all of those dynamics, and I've always wanted to be a wife. I've always wanted to have a lot of children. And I have been fortunate um, to have been married twice. The first one didn't work out, and I am currently married for the second time. And I am consciously making different and better decisions, so that we can have a successful relationship and marriage, you know, because it does take work. And don't let anybody tell you that marriage or relationships are easy, because they're not, especially if you're older. I think it's harder when you get older because you have all of these experiences behind you, and you don't want to repeat them. And so with more years and experience behind you, I think it makes marriage harder, especially if you've been divorced already, because you already know, hey, I've done it before. I think it makes it easier because you've already been through it and you know what it's like. And the fact that you've already done it makes it easier to, just kind of wash your hands of it. But you have to be consciously committed to being committed. All right. So a metaphor, or a couple metaphors that I like to think about when it comes to my marriage and my husband, it's always in my head because that's just how I think. Because I know my power, I know my silent power, and I'm not so silent all the time, don't get me wrong, but I know the power of influence. I know that I don't have to say a lot of things. About that, guys, my phone went hot. But like I was saying, the power of influence, and you don't have to do or say a whole lot, because women have that, just that silent power. Okay. Hi, Iqbal. So like I was saying, two of the metaphors that I like to use when it comes to relationships between men and women in marriage is, my husband is the head, okay? Because I understand how this current world that we live in works, okay? We live in a patriarchy. There's no question or argument about that. And so living in a patriarchy, and believing what we believe to a certain extent, my husband is the head, but I'm the neck. And the neck guides you. It turns you in the direction it wants you to go. So you ladies, remember that, okay? That subtle influence. Your husband is the head, or he may be the head, but you are the influence. All right. And I also like to think of it, the second metaphor is the relationship between a bullet and a gun. My husband is the gun. He's the big old protection around that little small projectile that has so much power in it. But he is the force behind it. He's that hammer behind it. And I have that little tip of angle and pointedness on the tip. And he aims me, he points me in the direction that, the family is going, and I go after it. And that's just how we operate. And that's what makes it like a well-oiled machine over time, after you learn each other, and over, a period of trials and things like that, because we have been through a lot. All right. We've been married for only 3 years. I'm 45. My husband is 52, almost 52. And it's a second marriage for both of us. And in that short period, we have lost a father, and we have lost a child. So we have been through a lot. On top of it being a second marriage, and us getting to know each other and raising children, because we now have 6 children all together. We had 7, but like I said, we lost one. So we have 6 children. Okay. 3 of them are adults, and 3 of them are under the age of 18. So we have a lot going on. And it's still a fairly new marriage, but we're learning. We are still learning each other and how to make things work. Okay. So like I said, my husband tells me his vision. He listens to mine as well. And we see which direction we're going in first, because we still want to be respectful of each other's goals. It's not just a one-sided thing, all his thing, it's both of us, so we take turns doing this, and then we take turns and we do that, and we support each other. Okay. And that's what it's about. And whoever is the best at something, that's what that person is going to do. Okay. So you just have to learn each other and, get along, try to get along for the best, because especially if you're in it for the long haul, you have to find out what works for you all. All right. So I just use my experience again to help us project in whatever direction that we're going in that's going to better our family. All right. And Yeah, so I just know that him as the head, he is responsible for the family. So if he doesn't look good and if he fails, then it's not going to be good for the family. So I do understand that it is part of my purpose to again help him and be his Ezer Kenegdo, um, not a footstool, but his side by side helpmate to help him achieve his goals in order to help our family succeed and to raise these children to the best of our ability. All right, so I understand that my husband faces racism, hatred, jealousy, all of those things when he goes out of the house. So as much as I can possibly be a piece and a help or some you know emblem of support and strength, I try to do that. Now sometimes he rubs me the wrong way, and things can go left. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a strong-willed, strong-headed woman, and I'm not even gonna lie about that. But I do understand the purpose and the dynamic of marriage. All right, I do, and I'm still learning. I also like to attribute the metaphor of the husband being the head and the wife the neck to the game of chess. In the game of chess, the queen is in reverse. So the queen is the protector of the king. And the queen can move in any direction. Remember this, ladies, what I told you, the power of influence. The queen can move in any direction that she wants or sees fit in order to get things done and to protect her king. All right? So remember that. So yeah, that's my my little spiel today about the power of a wife. Ladies, if you aspire to be married, if you're already married, don't forget the power that you have. You have the power to change things, to change the atmosphere. If you don't like how things are feeling, how you and your husband are getting along, take some time out to take care of yourself first, and then get back on the train and do some things that's going to change the atmosphere of your home, that's going to change the projection of your children and the success of your children. Okay? And let me be the first to say, my husband is spoiled, and my husband has me spoiled. There are things that he does that I've never had a man do. There are things that he says I do that no other woman has ever done. I'm sorry. And that's the whole point, is to support each other, build each other up, and to make each other better. That's the whole point, to always be striving and growing. All right. And my husband is also a great father. He's stern, but he's also very loving. And we have a 1-year old, and we're older in age, but we have a 1-year old, and we would like even more children if the Most High sees fit to give them to us, which I hope. But my husband is a great father, and I want to support him in being a good father. And I also have to know when to stand back. That's another power that people may not think of when they think of a wife. But a strength of being a wife is knowing when to be quiet, knowing when to stand back, knowing when to use that subtle power of influence. The neck. You may not be the head, but the neck. All right, that neck will tell you, turn you, direct you in whatever direction it wants you to go. All right, ladies, if you are unmarried, even if you are married, stop envying other people's relationships and other people's marriages, because you do not have any idea what those people have gone through to get to the place that they're in, and you don't know what they are going through. In the spiritual aspect, when you start being envious of other people and what other people have, you might find yourself getting it, and you find out that, hey, this is not all it's cracked up to be, and I don't want this. So don't envy what other people have in their marriages and relationships. Don't be jealous. You conjure whatever it is you want in your relationship. What is best for you. Okay? And that's my final thought there on the power of a wife, the power of being a wife, and the fact that a wife is not just someone that is there to just literally help you in every single thing. She is a source of strength, someone at your side. And again, it's very important. Again, that's why you should choose someone that is on the same wavelength and mental capacity as you, because they are going to be by your side. And if you have someone by your side that is not on the same mental level and capacity as you, they're going to do one or two things. If they're on a higher wavelength and capacity and frequency, they're going to take you up. But if they're on a lower frequency and capacity than you, they're going to take you down. And it doesn't matter if you are the woman or the husband, because your spouse is the most important decision, one of the most important decisions you're going to make. So if you marry someone with negative impact and energy, they're going to take you down, no matter which spouse you are, the husband or the wife. So be mindful of that. And that's my spiel. If no one has anything to add about this, the power of a wife, I want to thank you all for joining, and you be blessed.